Welcome to Like Mother, Like Murder. I am Rachel.
And I'm Heather.
We bring you the good,
the badass,
and the crime.
This is Like Mother, Like Murder.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Like Mother, Like Murder, your favorite True Crime Momcast.
We bring you mom-related crime content weekly, from missing moms to murdered moms, moms who murder, survivors, and more.
Yes, we do. It's been a little while since we've introduced ourselves, and we've had an influx in numbers, you guys. There's been a lot of new listeners. So we gotta say who we are. So first of all, welcome if you're new. Thank you for clicking on Like Mother, Like Murder and checking us out. We love that. My name is Rachel Holloway. I am the Kentucky half of Like Mother, Like Murder. Not born here. I lived in California for over 30 years. Now I live here in the good old bluegrass state. I'm a stay-at-home mom at the moment. I have an insane amount of pets. Like an insane amount. I have an obsession with the outdoors, anything green. I cannot wait until winter is over. And I drink a lot of coffee. That is it. That is me, guys.
How do I follow that up? I am Heather Northcraft. I am the California half of Like Mother, Like Murder. What is California's state thing?
The golden poppy or
state.
something?
It's the golden
poppy,
state?
The golden state of the world. I don't know.
Something?
I only lived there 30 years. I have no idea.
Yeah,
Heather.
Rachel used to live here in beautiful SoCal with me, and then she left me. Great stuff.
Whoops.
I actually do a lot of work with numbers, but you'd never guess it if you listen to this podcast, because I'm really bad with that kind of thing here. I have two beautiful, beautiful daughters,
yes,
and a very cute cat who loves to cameo sometimes on the pod. And yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
I thought you were going to say, and a very cute husband. And then you said cat, and I'm like, shout out your husband. Fletcher got no love in that.
Sorry, babe.
Neither did Joel, so I'm sorry. I love him too. We've got good men. That's what we will say about that. Before we get into our GBC episode, you guys, the good, the badass, and the crime, I want to remind everyone to please, please, please go check out last week's episode. We had a conversation with Hope Mater. She lost both of her children in a murder-suicide by the hands of the father, and she is raising awareness. She's telling their story in efforts to raise awareness to filicide, right? Because the number, she tells us in it, it's like 420 children lose their lives this way by their parent murdering them on average each year. And that is just ridiculous. That number should be 0, and it's not. And so she is going to try to make a change in that, and we need to help her however we are able to do so. So if you haven't listened to that episode, please go and do that. And then also something that we do as often as we can, is we love to shout out podcasts for you guys to check out. And this week is a podcast that is new to my feed, but not new to the field, right? The Last Trip is a podcast that showcases both true crime and travel. The host, Jamie Beebe, is also the creator and co-host of Strictly Stalking and spent a lot of time traveling all over. So she blended the crime aspect and travel together and created The Last Trip, which is telling stories of those who have been murdered or gone missing while traveling. After Jamie reached out, I followed instantly. I started listening, and the first episode that I listened to was the most recent at the time, and it was that of an unsolved case that happened in California. It's on Jason Cortez, and she interviews his father. In the entire episode, this father's heart breaks over and over again as he shares about his son. It's heartbreaking, but it's so important. He was shot in the middle of the day at a park in September. This is solvable. Someone knows something, and I hope for Jason and for his family it happens sooner than later. I'm talking a lot, like usual. I highly recommend you check out this podcast. Here is her trailer.
Do you love true crime and travel? Having traveled the world solo the last couple of years and being obsessed with true crime, I found myself researching others who took the same vacations but never made it home. The Last Trip is a true crime podcast covering missing and murdered people that were living their best lives on vacation. I'm your host, Jamie Beebe, and each week I'll bring you on The Last Trip, taking a deep dive into vacation culture and travel spots, tips on staying alive while traveling, and ultimately recreating someone's last days in paradise. What led to their last trip? What are the hard facts? What is the final outcome? And could you be next? David Snedden was a 24-year-old college student from Utah attending Mandarin classes in Beijing when he mysteriously disappeared while hiking Tiger Leaping Gorge. Chinese authorities said he drowned in the gorge, and U.S. authorities agreed, although his body was never found and his parents didn't believe that. 7 years later, out of the blue, they got a phone call from a former U.S. official who had evidence David is still alive. This case sounds like a Hollywood movie, but evidence doesn't lie. So where is David Snedden? Famous rugby player and Celebrity X Factor contestant Levi Davis went missing in Barcelona last year while on a backpacking trip through Europe. Just days before he vanished, he posted a 15-minute video to his Instagram account saying his life was in danger and people were after him. After he disappeared, several theories emerged. But what really happened to Levi Davis? Join me, Jamie Beebe, co-host of the popular true crime series Strictly Stalking, as I embark on a brand new adventure combining true crime and travel. Listen to The Last Trip wherever you get your podcasts.
Let's get into it. After a heavy episode, we take the time for ourselves and for the listeners to bring a little less heavy, and that is our GBC. That is our good, the badass, and the crime. And you know who's really good at kicking that off? My beautiful
Rachel.
co-host, Heather.
No. Rock, paper, scissors. Just kidding. Yes, I'm ready to kick this off because this is just, it's funny. I literally just saw a story similar to this on Instagram yesterday. And then Rachel sent me this story. And it's just beautiful, and I love it, and it's such a perfect way to kick this off. So this is the headline of The Good for Heather today. Quote, "You're doing such a good job. A stranger tells a mom just what she needs to hear." Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. We need to hear that.
Every damn day.
Yeah.
So we've all been there. You're a mom in the thick of it, trying to maintain some sense of normalcy, but you're right there in the throes of motherhood. We've all been there. So Emma Carlson Byrne was attempting to go out to dinner with her family, which included 2 young boys and a brand new baby. She recalls the struggle of knowing she quickly needed to get somewhere because the baby was hungry. Emma says, quote, "I was already feeling pretty shaky, so we all pile into the restaurant. We're very messy. We're very loud." End quote. As her and new baby try to get set to nurse, it's a challenge because we're past hangry at this point and it's a struggle to get settled. Emma says, quote, "I'm feeling a little teary-eyed because although we're doing it, this is really hard." End quote. Let me just take a moment to highlight this. Although we're doing it, this is really hard. Yes, there's that really just encapsulates that parenthood mentality.
Yeah, I feel like so many people are listening right now and screaming at the screen. Yeah, same girl.
Yeah. Same girl.
Same girl, been there. Feel you.
Yep. So now often enough moms feel unseen or overlooked, especially in those early days when we seem to exist only for our kiddos. There's an invisible load that we all carry, and it can be hard for others, let alone ourselves, to acknowledge that difficulty. But then Emma's night out would take a turn for the better. An older woman, who Emma said reminded her of her own mom, came up and just took in the family. Emma was expecting a comment on the new baby, and the woman surprised her by saying, "What a beautiful family." She then looked at the two young boys who were just 6 and 3, and this lady said, "It's not easy to sit at a table for a long time." Yeah.
Right.
As an adult, it's not easy for me to do, let alone a 6 and a 3-year-old. So the woman saw her older children, Emma's older children, in a way few people seem to, especially now with a new baby in tow. I mean, like, you know, people always shoot straight to the baby. Then this angel of a woman turns to Emma and says, "Look at you, Mom. You're doing such a good job."
Mm-hmm.
Then the woman gives one last smile and walks away.
Yes.
I'd be like, was that just an angel? Like, was this literally like... Because in those moments, those struggle moments, for sure, like she's sitting there, she's got 2 young kids, having to sit in a restaurant, baby's upset, she's trying to nurse baby, like so much going on, right? So Emma says that if she had the chance to respond to this woman today, she'd say, quote, "Thank you for seeing all of us. And thank you for seeing me. Me, someone who wasn't often seen during these early days, and someone who was sometimes feeling pretty invisible. And I have never forgotten it." End quote.
Relatable.
That
moment.
Chills.
I love that so much. I love that so much because not only is it, so hearing that is something that is beautiful. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. So many people need that. It means so much. And it's something she is going to remember that moment forever. It's something that sticks, and you just always think back to, remember that one time that lady was just an angel in disguise? Like, she will remember that forever. But I feel like I also take it as like, do that more often. Be that person in someone's life. Tell them they're doing a good job. Tell them that they're doing their best, that you see them trying, that they're making the effort. Make them feel seen and noticed. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Especially, and I mean, obviously, you know, we are mom heavy and we have a lot of moms who listen to us. And I mean, I think all moms can relate. And this doesn't always change the older your children get. But especially in those early days when it's literally like, you know, your brain is very one tracked, and it's hard enough just to like, a lot of times you don't even see yourself separate. Right. And so to get that shout out and that recognition and that, you know, that validation that you, Mom, you're doing a good job, because you get all these people who come up and say, "What a beautiful baby, what a beautiful," and yes, thank you, I made this baby with my own womb, but you as a person are doing a good job. And that's an important thing that, you know, moms sometimes forget to tell themselves. And so for a stranger to come and really just, you know, point that out, and then it is so sweet. And I think anyone with more than one child can attest to this, that when there's a new baby in the mix, that older child, you know, there's always going to be that little bit of like, they only care about the new baby, right? And so to also give props to the 3-year-old and the 6-year-old. Seriously, angel. That had to have been an angel.
Yeah. I agree. She's not real. This never happened. No, just kidding. Just kidding. We love that. I also love my good story, because my good story, like, I strive to be this kind of person in life, because I wish I could just like help everyone in the world that needed help. Like, I don't know how. I don't know how to do that, but I just wish I could. So my good The mom I'm talking about today is a mom who founded a nonprofit called Kathy's Place in honor of her own mother, who she described as someone who lived her life to serve others. Stacy and Joe Squires are the founders of Kathy's Place, and this is a safe place for homeless mothers to come and stay to get back on their feet. One of the moms that stayed at Kathy's Place said, quote, "Being on the streets with my kids, I was always vigilant. I had to be aware of everything. When I came to Kathy's Place, we were given the opportunity to just sleep because we could relax," end quote. This organization offers a place that is safe and offers resources to help these mothers regain their footing when they need it. Another quote from this article that I'll try to read. "All of the units are designed within trauma-informed lens. Every color, every texture is designed to give moms and kids a sense of safety, security, and peace. These units were developed to be able to let your shoulders down, let your fists unclench." Okay. Stacy and Joe, shout out to you guys. I am so thankful for places like this. This one specifically, it is in Oregon. It's called Kathy's Place. We need Kathy's Places everywhere for these people to feel just that security and that safety, to be able to let your shoulders down after being on alert, after being just so not having that feeling of security is so important. Yeah. So
yeah,
I love it.
I think sometimes people, and I mean, I don't think, I know that people, especially people who haven't lived through anything like that, they take for granted just that idea that they have a safe place to not even just like to be. And so to offer that to mothers who are, you know, not only thinking for themselves but for their kids, that's another angel right there.
Yeah. We love the good moms. We love them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh,
absolutely.
That was such a good one.
We also love them badass mamas, let me tell you.
Oh, we do, because we're about to get into one badass mama.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this headline reads, "We didn't have fear. We just went and did. Woman in pink describes how she saved an elderly man who drove into the Humboldt Bay." I love that she was wearing pink. Like, yeah.
I am woman, hear me roar.
So Heidi Johnston, she was just killing time with her family looking out at the bay in Eureka, California. Not 5 minutes into taking in the scenery, they heard an engine rev and then saw a truck launch into the air before it landed into the water and began drifting and floating in the bay. Her family immediately jumped into action. Her daughter and son-in-law called 911, and Heidi jumped into the water. Heidi could see the driver was just sitting in the truck. He was dazed, Heidi says. She said she walked as far as she could and then started to swim. And when she first got out there, the truck was still floating, but the water was coming in fast. She said the man continued not to really respond, and the door wouldn't open. So Heidi says she doesn't know how it happened, but the driver's side window came down. She said maybe the driver did it. Maybe it was just like an automatic thing when the truck hit the water. But she said at that point the driver turned his head a little bit to her and smiled as if he were saying like, "Well, aren't we in a pickle?"
Oh gosh. Why are people funny in these moments?
I know. So it seems like the article, it seems like he had like some kind of medical emergency, like maybe a stroke or something.
Yeah, I think that he had a
potentially
stroke.
He couldn't speak at that moment, but he was trying to communicate as much as he could. So but she said his arms weren't working, and like he just was not like physically being able to like respond to anything. And Heidi said she didn't know if she was going to be a good enough swimmer to be, because at this point she's treading water. So can she tread this water, get him out of the car, out through the window because the door won't open, and then get him back to the shore? She didn't know, but she was going to try. So all of a sudden, she said the water makes this big gurgling sound, and it just started rushing into the car. And she's like, okay, I cannot wait anymore. I've got to get him out now. And he, like I said, he wasn't moving. He was kind of unresponsive. So she has to reach in through the window. Luckily, she finds the buckle. She unbuckles him, and she just starts pulling with everything she has. And now she manages to get him out of the window, but now she's got this full-grown man, and she's treading water. And so luckily at this point, 2 other Good Samaritans come to assist. Another man jumps into the water and helps kind of keep the old man afloat. And another person had a boat, luckily, and was able to maneuver the boat over by the truck. And they were able to get everybody up on board and got the man from the truck into the boat and over to the shore. And Heidi said, and this part is just amazing, she said she doesn't feel heroic, although, girl, you are. Mm-hmm. She explains, quote, sometimes you have to go and do. I'm a mom, and we want to save everybody.
Yes. Yes.
You don't even think. You just go and just do. End quote. So it's really amazing, just that mentality. And I think it's true that, you know, I mean, certain people just are born with this instinct to, you know, in those moments to be like, oh, gotta do something, right? But I mean, it's true that once you become a mom and you just have that instinct, it escalates big time. Right. So it was really amazing what she was able to do in that moment. And I guess like the theme of today is just like angels, because there you go.
She's a badass angel right there.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And to be out there not knowing if you can even do anything, but then also not knowing, like, is someone else going to be able to get there in time or also help? Like, it's you in that moment. And if she would have made any other decision, who knows what the outcome could have been.
I mean, it seems like the timing of all of it was literally perfect, because she said she gets there and then the water starts going. Right. And so you just, oh my gosh, had she waited, who knows? Yeah. Like, he probably already would have been under the water.
It's so scary.
Yeah.
So scary. So my Badass Mom segment today is not from a news article. It isn't something I found online at all. It's something that Heather and I get to experience firsthand, and I just need to speak on it. Recently, we worked alongside 2 mothers who lost their children in a murder-suicide by the hands of their fathers. It's heartbreaking, it's devastating, tragic, all things horrible. The loss of a child is already so hard. And the loss in this way should never even exist as a possibility. The badass portion of what I'm getting to is that I received a text the other day from one of these moms, Brandy. Brandy texted me, who I love with my whole entire being. She sent me a screenshot that her and this other mother, Hope Mater, who we just met and love just the same, reached out to each other and are not only going to be able to support each other and be a support system for each other, they're going to fight alongside of each other to make a difference for others so that they don't have to experience what these 2 moms went through. Brandy texted me and said, quote, "You made it possible for us to help each other, and for that I'm so grateful." Shit, you guys.
You could do it. Keep going.
You made it possible for us to help each other, and for that I'm so grateful to you and all you've done. And we're going to work for change together. Listen, I didn't do much. Heather and I didn't do much, okay? Our hearts for these 2, they're just so big, right? And we provided the platform. They told the story through their pain, their grief, their heartache. So I just need to deem both of these mamas badass and say that I love them.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yep, my bad.
You know, when we
I almost got through it.
You did it. No, you did the damn thing. You're a badass.
You're a badass.
When we started this podcast, all all that time ago, and we decided, being moms is obviously very central to both of who we are as people. And, we also, we listened at the time, both of us listened to a lot of true crime podcasts. And so we thought, okay. And then as things kind of shifted and we started focusing more on like just the mom related true crime. Okay. And then, very quickly we realized that with sharing these stories, there's a certain level of advocacy, even when we literally were just starting out and had a couple dozen listeners maybe, and it was just like, hey, if because at that, covering missing mothers, or just covering stories where maybe you could learn something from a mom's experience, we thought, that's worth it. If one person, if we could with just one person make a difference, and to see like now, it's just so awesome. We love them so much, and I feel like we also wouldn't be in this situation without their courage,
right,
to do what they're doing. And so we love you, Brandy. We love you, Hope.
Yeah. And them trusting us enough to allow us to, kind of go on this journey, be on this train with them. So, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Tell me a crime, girly.
Let's tell you a crime. So this crime it makes me mad and then happy, but also like, what the fuck, people? Sorry, Terry. Okay.
Sorry, Terry.
So imagine this. You are called for your civic duty to serve on a jury, but you are a new mom with a baby attached to you. Quite literally, you have a 3-month-old nursing baby.
Mm-hmm.
You report to court, baby in tow, because what else are you supposed to do? Only to be threatened by the judge. The judge. This is what happened to Candace Brown earlier this year. Candace, along with another mother who had their children with them at jury duty because they could not find childcare and or had a baby that needed to eat every few hours, instead of being given the opportunity to be excused due to childcare responsibilities or the fact that you're a breastfeeding mother, this judge threatened these moms. This circuit court judge threatened to call the Department of Human Resources if the child wasn't picked up or some other kind of arrangement was made. In other words, this judge, this person who is supposed to be like an objective truth, like person making literal judgments on other people's lives, threatened to call Child Protective Services
on two moms being moms.
Yes.
Okay.
Irate. I am shaking.
Yeah.
So, luckily, after reaching out to her state representative, Candace
is
took
the
to
new
social
judge.
media. She reached out to her state representative. She's like, what the hell? This was taken all the way to the top. And the Alabama Supreme Court will now require judges to excuse breastfeeding mothers from jury duty. Now, I have two things to say. One, thank you, Alabama Supreme Court, for making this happen so quickly and getting it down and making sure this doesn't happen to anyone again.
Yes.
But on the other hand, where are people's fucking humanity that it has to be written in a bill, law, whatever you want to call it, that you have to tell judges, leave breastfeeding mothers alone? Like, the fact that you have to tell a judge, someone in law, to leave breastfeeding mothers alone is insane to me.
Right.
So, I guess previously there are laws in Alabama that would excuse a prospective juror from jury duty because of, health concerns or, certain, like, you have to take care of your blah, 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 blah. Like, for instance, last time I got called for jury duty, a woman was excused because she said, look, I have an elderly mother. I am her primary caretaker. So if I can't do this. So, but specifically breastfeeding wasn't included. So now they specifically, explicitly put breastfeeding in it.
Good.
So thank you for that. But also the fact that we had to do that explicitly is kind of ridiculous. Like that a judge couldn't make that logical conclusion by themselves is kind of beyond me. But anyway, so Candace says, and this is a quote from Candace Brown. She says 10 years ago, so I think this was like her 4th baby. So she's been through something similar. 10 years ago, she said, I was breastfeeding my baby back then, and I called over the phone. And I was immediately told, it's fine. Like, don't worry about it. Take care of your kid. She said, just to see that we've kind of gone backwards, it was very surprising. Hell yeah, surprising and infuriating. Mm-hmm. Absolutely infuriating that you are a breastfeeding mom who is going to get caught, like who is being threatened with her child being taken away because she's being a mom.
It's crazy.
By a judge, no less.
Right.
Whew.
Ooh.
Okay.
I don't have words right now, you guys, because I'm just trying to think about what I would do in that moment. So I breastfed as long as I possibly could. And if I was put into that situation, I would have, I don't know what would have happened. But it wouldn't have been good.
It's completely shocking to me, too, because, I'm already shocked when people in any way, shape, or form give any kind of shit to a breastfeeding mother. You're literally giving life to someone right now.
Right.
Any kind of shit given to a breastfeeding mother is bull. But for someone who's in a position of power and then is going to go and try to abuse their position of power to make a breastfeeding mother feel like she can't breastfeed her child, are you joking me?
Wow.
Like that judge should probably get their judgeship revoked, whatever the words are correctly for that. Anyway.
I have no help in what it's called. But I agree. Oh, gosh. That's so frustrating. Mine is not as frustrating. Mine's just dumb.
Okay.
People are dumb.
Shoot it.
All right. I'm going to read the headline for you guys to start. Maine mother and son arrested for allegedly trafficking drugs. Then proceeds to say, when we think of family businesses, we envision farms and shops, not drug trafficking. So,
they farming something.
Yeah, right? God. Oh, this is not the business I would have been getting into, let me tell you. So a mother-son duo in central Maine, they were arrested after their apartment was searched and an undisclosed amount of drugs were found. The son was charged with 4 counts of aggravating trafficking of Schedule W drugs, and the mother was charged with 1 count of the same thing. I had to Google what Schedule W drugs in Maine was because I didn't know. And found an article that listed Schedule W drugs containing heroin, cocaine, oxycodone, methamphetamines, and fentanyl.
Damn, son. So we're not just talking about a weed situation.
No.
Damn, son.
No, we were not. See, that's the farming that I would have been like, okay,
that's what I thought.
Right, yeah. That I would have laughed at. Yeah, not good at all, you guys. Not good at all. And the funny, I guess the comedic relief in this article was it says, all suspects are considered innocent until proven guilty. They were arrested and charged. So they're guilty.
Well, they have to go to court before officially being guilty. But they did find that, watch them both just say, actually, it was dad's drugs or something. Now it's really a family business.
Seriously.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Dude,
so.
I mean,
we see a lot of the mother-son
these sad
crimes.
Stories about when parents force their kids into the family business. They're like, no, you will take over as the CEO of our company.
But
and
I
so
want to
you
be
wonder,
an actress.
oh man,
No, you will sell these drugs. It's so bad.
so bad.
Ugh.
Those are bad drugs.
They're-
y'all.
yeah.
Not that I condone drugs of any kind, but I'm just saying those are bad. Those are some bad drugs.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. That is our bad. That is the good, the badass, and the crime. I think you guys like these episodes. I would love to
like these episodes.
I would love to hear it. Yeah, we do. And like I said at the beginning, these are very important for us. And I know other listeners to have just a moment to enjoy some of the things that we can talk about that are mom related. And because it gets heavy. It gets heavy.
It does. It gets
A
heavy.
couple
and
of...
as
Sorry,
much
go
as
ahead.
we know that it gets heavy, but we are passionate about that heavy, so we continue to do it.
Right.
But just like anybody else, sometimes we like to call these our palate cleansers. So sometimes you need it to just, because then it can really allow you, and this is just, I think sage advice for anyone. It's important to take breaks even from things you're passionate about. That way, when you get back into it, that passion is still there, Yeah. And that's, we want to continue doing this for a very, very, very long time. And, get all those more, heavier stories, because that's what it's important to us that we do that. But
yes,
that's why we have these little breathers, so that we can continue doing the things that we're passionate about.
And you're so right about that too. So I was just talking about this I was on Weird Java in the Morning. That's a segment that we do each week. Every single Sunday, we submit a video. We host a missing person segment for Weird Java in the Morning with David and Kevin of Where the Weird Ones Are, on his YouTube channel. They do a morning show. We are just a small segment in that morning show with a big meaning in that small segment. And I was on the show 2 weeks ago, and David, at the end of it, he asked that question. He said, how do you, I forget exactly how he worded it, but like, maintain your mental health when looking into these? Because he also co-hosts a podcast, and they cover some very heavy stuff here and there. And it is a lot, you guys. It takes a toll, and you really do have to protect yourself in these moments.
Totally.
And we do it for a reason. Like Heather said, it's very important for us. We are very passionate about it. And a lot of people, they have their things that they do. I think one of the things I said is I spend a lot of time outside. Yep. When I need to, I go outside. I get out of it. I decompress that way. I don't watch things, like he's like, how do you watch and see? I don't watch the documentaries because they hurt me more. But this is one of those things to help us get through that. So hopefully you guys can feel that way as well. A couple things before we go. Okay, a couple housekeeping things for you guys. We have a YouTube channel, and I have said it every 2 months or 3 months or something along those lines. I say, I'm going to get really good at YouTube. I'm going to get so good at YouTube and put our videos there. That is a whole different world. So a lot of you guys that are listening on here, you listen on your platform, right?
Spotify,
YouTube
Apple
is
Podcasts,
its own world over there.
It really
and
is.
We've had people say, like, hey, release the video. I didn't want to, but we're going to, and they're there. And so last week's episode is up. There are some other videos that we've already done, and they are up as well. But moving forward, I am going to do my best. I don't want to lie to you guys, so I'm just going to say I'm going to do my best to get all of the video content up and on YouTube. So if you guys if you have a YouTube, if you would like to help us grow over there, you can go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's Like Mother, Like Murder, just like every other thing that we have. Reviews, ratings and reviews, guys. I love to see the good ones. I really, really do. The other ones, I like to laugh at them. but then I just move right along. Okay. That's all I'm going to say about that one. But yeah, you can, so like Apple, you can leave written reviews, Spotify, you can leave stars, but you can also comment on each episode, and we have people over there that comment. We love any of that interaction, you guys. I am on there. I will respond to you. I love it. And I always like screenshot and say, Heather, looky what we got.
I think, yeah, which I always adore. I think the other thing too that we just want to remind all of our listeners who, bless us every week with their listenership. It doesn't need to be a long drawn out thing. Literally go leave a review. A couple sentences will do. It will take you 2 minutes. But what that does is it boosts us up that incredibly complicated algorithm that is ratings. And it allows more people, it allows us a visibility. It helps our content get out to more people. And like we mentioned previously, like one of our goals with this is to just reach as many people as possible in the hopes that any of the missing people we cover can be found safe and get back to their normal lives. The advocacy that we talk about, Hope's story, Brandy's story, that we can somehow, in our little way help. And so by leaving that rating, leaving that review, it makes it possible for that message to get spread to more people. So that's why we ask you to do it. We're not doing it for, it'd be great if we could get rich, but that's not why we're asking. We want to spread our message, and that is the best way to do it. But the ratings and reviews are really just so that we can get out there, we can get more listeners who will share more of the things that we feel it's important to share.
Yeah, yep, 100%, 100%. The last thing that I will say is we have people who have, whether it's like case requests or things that, you want us to look into or cover, or if you're someone who wants to, whether it's a collaboration or you have a story that you want to come on and talk about that's mom related, we are open to that. And you guys can email us at likemotherlikemurder@gmail.com. You can reach out to us on any of our social medias.
Slide into those DMs.
Slide into the DMs. Holler at your girls, okay? That is what you can do. And we're pretty good at responding pretty quickly. So that is it. That's the housekeeping for this week. And I know I beat it up, but I put it at the end for a reason so that you guys could enjoy the show before I was like, here, let me throw this down your throat. But that's it, guys. We hope that you guys enjoyed a little bit of relief, and we will be back next week with another episode of Murder. All right? Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.